will take you through the way to find the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix, matrix A. Okay, here are a few notes that you may or may not have seen before. Feel free to pause the video and take them down. So I've copied down kind of the basic process of finding the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix here. We want to find the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix below without using our calculator. Okay, so here's matrix A. Before we get into it, let's just figure out what is A, B, C, and D, or what are A, B, C, and D. So A is this first item, it's 2, B equals 3, C equals -5, and D equals -6. Okay, so in case you're having trouble identifying what A, B, C, and D are. Okay, so let's get started. Inverse of A, well, we create this fraction first, 1 over our determinant. So A times D minus B times C. And then we multiply by our adjugate matrix here. Okay, so that's the basic process. Now it's just a little bit of algebra and then some really basic matrix multiplication. So let's simplify this fraction and then we'll do our scalar multiplication. So now we've simplified this fraction. So now we just have to do some scalar multiplication, which means multiplying this number by each of the elements in the adjugate matrix. And then we'll simplify. So this right here is A inverse. So we want to check if that answer is correct. Okay, so what we have to do is multiply it by the original matrix. So here I've got our original matrix, matrix A, and then our inverse that we found on the page before. So what we want to do is say, okay, if I multiply A times A inverse, do I get the identity matrix? So let's multiply A times A inverse. First, let's just do our check, 2 by 2. This is a 2 by 2 also. These inner dimensions match up, so our answer is going to be the outer dimension, so it's going to be a 2 by 2 also. So now I just need to check if this gets down to 1. I've got -4 plus 5, which is 1. And I got -2 plus 2, which is a 0. I've got 10, positive 10, minus 30 over 3, which is also 10. And then I've got positive 5 minus 12 over 3, which is 4, and that's a 1. So since I multiplied A times my A inverse, and it came out to the identity matrix, that means this answer is correct.